Welcome back, everybody. This is another news episode looking at some articles from last week. Happy Monday. I hope you have a great week ahead. HashrateUp, hardware sales, advisory, hosting, and site brokerage. Find new and used ASIC deals through the website and the Telegram channel below. Make smarter decisions with HashrateUp. So first up, we have the Wintermute article here. It says Epoch 5, structurally different BTC mining cycle. It's a very interesting article that talks about the low fee environment, the AI pivot as well, and the underutilized level of BTC sitting on the sidelines. So they're talking about how miners can make extra revenue to get through these low revenue times, maybe putting some capital at risk, maybe pivoting to AI is the right play, refreshing your fleet. And then, Epoch 5 is structurally different. Peak margins, the cycle are where prior cycles bottomed, the halving math no longer works, and fees haven't filled the gap. So I really enjoyed this article. It definitely provides some context and furthers thinking. Next up, we have Mullet mining, a term that I really love. AI in the front, SHA-256 in the back, right? So how can miners utilize these? How can they become service providers to AI? How can AI data centers maybe qualify for new interconnections now that, they are becoming very, very scarce, at least the ones with high uptimes and high power density. And so this is also a really interesting article. Mullet mining, AI HPC with Bitcoin mining for that fixed USD revenue, and then mining absorbs the surplus. Whether your site qualifies comes down to three things: power flexibility, a credible cooling upgrade path, and a location match for your target AI workload. And then last but not least, purpose-built AI facilities are coming online and the conversion advantage is compressing. Evaluate now or risk evaluating too late. So give this a look. If you are a data center operator, if you're interested just in the material, it's very interesting to read through that. Next up, the impact of rising oil prices. This is obviously in the energy space, which Bitcoin mining is closely tied to. The story right now, oil, Iran conflict, the US, all of that stuff. But the guys have figured out or found out that according to their data, and I know Luxor has a lot of it, countries where electricity prices correlate strongly with crude oil host an estimated 6% of global hash rate. So the energy cost rising because of the oil crisis, energy crisis, is not likely to impact the Bitcoin mining hash rate, but we will see. I mean, I don't think the last word has been spoken, or we're very, very far from it. So we'll see what that turns into and if that will impact Bitcoin mining down the line. Next up, last week, MicroBT released quite silently, I would say, the new WhatsMiner M7D series, which to me has been described as just the M70 series being overclocked. So we've got a couple new models, the M7DS, 13.5 joule per T, 700 terahash, so that more higher density power stuff. We see this potentially being applied in data centers in Finland because there the inlet temperature and the outlet temperature for the district heating is quite important. But this, I think, goes in line with some of these data center upgrades that we're seeing. These units need a lot of power. They need a lot of power constantly. So MicroBT came out with this. But again, this has been described to me as overclocked current models, factory stock overclocked. But give this another look if you're in the market for ASICs. And let me know if you have any questions. Next up, we have Hive expands AI data centers in Canada as Sweden Bitcoin hash rate winds down, right? So this obviously plays into the AI pivot. Hive is doing similar things. They are expanding their AI data center footprint in Canada, while, I think this is down here, the regulatory pressure has created operational uncertainty for the company's traditional mining business in Sweden, prompting the strategic shift. So we hear this quite often. I would say once a year, I hear some Nordic countries saying no to Bitcoin mining. Last year, it was Norway's turn. And I think, Sweden is among the Nordic countries the least favorable when it comes to Bitcoin mining. And instead of continuing to operate large fleets of specialized Bitcoin mining machines, Hive said it plans to convert its 7 megawatt facility in Boden into a tier 3 data center designed to host GPU clusters for AI workloads. So there you go. that company is pivoting. It's using the infrastructure that it has already built, upgrading it, and then using it for AI. This is, again, worth following, but it echoes what we've talked about before. Also worth a read. This is on the Miner Mag. These are all the last few articles are all on the Miner Mag. Wolfie doing quality work covering the space. And I'm here to pick my cherries, basically. Bitcoin miner creditor claim 13.6 million in Blockville's bankruptcy. There's also, I didn't hear many speaking about this, but according to court documents filed on Sunday, entities tied to the Bitcoin mining sector hold at least 13.6 million in unsecured claims against the company, including Simple Mining, Bitfarms, and Ashton Sonyard, co-founder of Bitcoin mining firm Conmit. Out of these three, this is the most interesting to me, Simple Mining. What this means is they gave a loan, they owed money, and there's no collateral, so they have to wait until it's their turn being paid back in line. And we'll have to see if this has any effect on them. And maybe I can get Nick back on the show to talk about this and talk about the potential impact that this might have on their business. I hope it doesn't have one. BitX, solomining.de, got it. Premium, made in Germany. You want to go fancy? Go for NerdX or NerdQX++ for a lot of power. Worldwide shipping. Check out solomining.de today. Yeah, so next up we have TeraWulf adding another $500 million bridge loan into their liquidity portfolio for the AI data center in Kentucky. HPC pivot, it's the story of the quarter and it will continue. Next up, we have Bitdeer reaching 68 exahash hash rate and completing 375 million node offering, right? So these guys, obviously public miners, they put out targets, they reach them, they don't reach them, that informs stock pricing. And we start again, right? So Bitdeer reaching 68 exahash per second. The total hash rate under management reached 79 exahashes at the end of February, and then proprietary hash rate alone rose to 70 exahashes from 9.4 in February. I think this also has to do, and it says here, the increase was driven largely by the rollout of Bitdeer's internally designed SealMiner rigs. As of February, cumulative deployed capacity from the SealMiner A3 model reached 11.4 exahashes, while A2 deployments totaled 48.4 exahashes. The company said new hardware shipments and additional deployments are expected to continue lifting its hash rate in the coming months. But Bitdeer also has the issue of no demand for ASICs. So now they famously went into building their own ASICs, and they have to put them somewhere. And luckily they have capacity, but that means they sell their old equipment, they rotate their new equipment in. That means more equipment is on the market. And until we see more demand in the open market, I think it's going to be tough for these OEMs, MicroBT, Bitmain, Bitdeer, to sell their machines to the open market. But again, worth following. Next up, we have Bitdeer launching Scrypt miner as Bitcoin mining hardware market tightens. Exactly what we just talked about, right? So these guys build and design their own machines. Last time, when we did this news episode, we saw Foundry, the mining pool, opening a Zcash mining pool soon. And this, I think, goes into the similar vein, or this, I think, speaks to the same thing, right? The diversification in the wider crypto space. This is Bitdeer, a big Bitcoin miner, pivoting and launching a Scrypt miner to see if there's demand for that. Next up, we have Kango reporting a 450 million net loss for 2025 amid AI infrastructure pivot. So the company mined a total of 6,594 Bitcoin throughout 2025, averaging 18 per day. In the fourth quarter, production reached 1,700. The all-in cost to mine was 97,000. For the full year, increasing to 106. And then as of December 31st, 2025, the company had mined a cumulative of 7,500 coins. And then down here, we covered this as well before. Kango sold 305 million worth of Bitcoin in February. So I think they sold it at a big loss and then drew down digital asset reserves by 60%. Company also reported 30% reduction in its operating hash rate. And then they sold the money to cover debt and for their AI pivot. right? So you sell Bitcoin, Bitcoin price drops, hash price drops to fund AI pivot. This is, again, probably the most interesting story in Bitcoin mining this year, and I cannot wait to see how it plays out. Last, and this may be a pointer as to how it plays out. Bitcoin difficulty is set for 8% drop, right? Exceeding 2022 capitulation. You can read through this, but basically we are seeing, and this is the adjustment being imminent at the time of this recording. It's Friday today. We are at 98% in the Epoch. We're at 30 hash price, and we're going to see a minus 7% drop, which is significant. And I think we're going to see these going forward because this AI pivot is far from done. And I think if you look at this report, the Wintermute report, and this Mullet mining report, and then all this AI pivot stuff, it has similar effects, right? So if we go to difficulty now, historically, let's look at the 1 year difficulty real quick. We can see that this difficulty is decreasing. This is where the winter storm happened. We're kind of stagnant. We're not getting back up there. The hash rate from before is not turning on. So this is more structural. And now we're going to see an 8% drop. And it's going to be very interesting to follow difficulty going forward this year. This time might be different. We haven't had times like this before. Also, if you look at the network hash rate on the smooth moving average of 7 days, right at the top of October 18th, we were at 1157 exahash, and now we're at 930. So yeah, we lost quite a bit of hash rate there. Again, you can see the winter storms in the US. You can see that here, where all the hash rate turned off. And then you can see that the hash rate doesn't fully come back online. And now, yeah, we're at 930. So let's see where hash rate goes. I have a feeling that Bitcoin is going to do what it has been doing price-wise, and that hash rate will stay stagnant, and we'll see where hash price will go as a result. But if this keeps on going, there's no way it can decrease, right? So yeah, good time to have miners online. I hope you guys got something out of this. Read through the articles that interest you. Have a great week. See you later. Bye-bye.